As at this point that I met a master's degree student whose name is Dick Sorensen. He came, took my class in prophets. I'm teaching prophets. And my introduction to the class in prophets, I talked about what I call the prophetic experience. I said these guys didn't just write this because they knew something. They had a personal experience with God, and I described the baptism of the Holy Spirit without knowing what the baptism of the Holy Spirit is. But he came into my office later, and we had a discussion. He said, when I came to your class, I knew immediately you have no idea what you're talking about. We had a relationship where he could do that. And so he began to talk to me about the things of the Spirit, which were not computing with me. I want to enter into the fullness of this. So I began to study Holy Spirit. I read everything I could find on Holy Spirit because I thought that the way to get it is to get it. I didn't realize this is a spiritual thing. So I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm reading and nothing is happening and I don't get it. And anyway, Dick and his wife, we had become really good friends. He and his wife were over at our house. We were spending time together. The ladies were back in the other room, and he and I were in the living room, and we're talking, and he got a phone call. And he said, I have to go, I'll be back. Now, he left his wife, so I assumed he would come back. So I thought, well, I'll just read the Bible while he's gone. I picked up the book of Romans, which I love. I took a class in Romans on the graduate level in which I personally translated the entire book. I had my own translation. Final exam, I go to the professor with an open Greek Bible, no notes, and he can ask me any question on any verse, and I answer. And he asked me, I answered, got an A in the class. And I'm not bragging on the A, I'm saying I had this level of knowledge. I had taught through the book of Romans twice. So, quote, I know the book of Romans. But that night, I picked up the book of Romans, and it's as though I've never read this book before. The first chapter just opened up to me. It was so good, I read chapter 2. Every verse opens up, download. I read the entire book of Romans. He wasn't there yet. So I went to 1 Corinthians. He wasn't there yet, but the same thing. Everything is just opening up. 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians. I read all of Paul's writings before he came back. And the download that I received that night reading Paul's writings are still the basis, the foundation of almost everything I do today in teaching. That download is still in there. And it spilled over into the Gospels later. Spilled over into the Old, it just spilled over. But that experience was the beginning of my understanding. The Bible is not something to intellectually understand. It's something to drink. You want a good drink? Open the book and get a drink. Does that make any sense?